Hey guys, welcome back to DevSpot. This week we're going to focus on another question or two from our Question Our Game series. Now before we get going, remember to hit that like and subscribe button. If you're new around here, well, you don't have to be new to hit this like button, but you do have to be new to hit the subscribe button. Oh man, I just tripped over my words. And also, if you guys are interested, I do have a Discord that has a full community of developers and gamers alike, and it's pretty awesome. You guys should check it out. But now, let's get going into the video. So today we're going to focus on two questions, the first of which being how am I? Which is more to ask, how did I get here? How did things come to be the way that they are? What is the origin of this predicament or series of events that have come to be? Many times I see games where a developer has more or less forgotten this question about where did all this stuff come from? We have all these cool events and stuff going on, but there's no real driver for them to actually happen. So, it's really important that when you make a game, your character's backstory is incredibly important. The history of the land that you're in is super important, but keep in mind, events need backstories too. Things don't just happen. People don't just wake up and suddenly X, Y, or Z is happening. So, to illustrate my point, I want to tell you again about a D&D adventure that I had at one point. So we're going along, the characters don't matter, the level doesn't matter in this case, but in the game they actually did. So we're going along, and all of a sudden, we're with a gang of knights that are escorting us someplace, and then all of a sudden, a neighboring nation's guards ambush us. Guards aren't the right word, they're more like rogues, but still you get the idea. We get ambushed, and now the ambush itself and how it played out isn't really important, but the question of why did that happen is incredibly important. Because after this, the nations pretty much went to war, and we had to do some stuff around it to help out our nation. But in this, there was a major question of why. Why are they doing this? Up until this point, they had been great friends. And one thing that I think was an incredibly missed opportunity was the DM never explained why these events were happening. We got detailed backstories about both nations. We all had great character backstories, and all the NPCs had fantastic backstories, but there was no reason for these events to happen. And it really just kind of took away from things happening, and it made the party feel more railroaded than anything, because there wasn't a larger world working around them. And now, when you're in D&D, or in any RPG game, when you're playing the game, everything seems like very tunnel vision. Everything that is happening to you, it's just happening to you. Things that are happening around you are only happening around you. But there's a moment, and this is my favorite moment when I'm DMing a game, is that when your characters are doing something, and then something happens that's completely out of their control, and you explain to them, or they get to investigate what caused this, and they discover that around them there is this massive living world. It's like a mind-blown moment, where characters are like, oh crap, I'm not the only one here. Things are happening around me that I'm not seeing. There's larger forces at play than just me. And I can either A, discover those pieces, or that can be the point of the quest, is to discover those reasons. And this is something that really helps players engage in your game, because they realize that the world is a living environment and stuff is going to happen. The world is going to move whether or not they do their quest or if they even play the game. And it helps create this living environment that promotes rich lore and a fun environment to discover. And even when you're creating a world, sometimes when I'm a DM, I don't have a full backstory to an event, but sometimes it's fun for you to discover that if you didn't think about everything that's going on. And as you're playtesting the game, you discover, wow, it'd actually be really cool if this happened. So those are questions to ask yourself about how am I, or how did this come to be, while you're watching playtests or you're actually developing your game. This is one that you can get away with kind of developing later on in the game. Now, the next question I want to ask is, what am I? Now, this one's actually a pretty straightforward one, and it could be, what species am I? What are my beliefs, or stuff like that. It's kind of a more obscure one and more of a straightforward one, I guess. Obscure and straightforward really don't make a lot of sense together, but I think you understand what I'm trying to say. So there are a few games that focus around this concept, like Prey is an interesting one, or I can't remember the name, it's an underwater game where the the base is breaking down and you're trying to move around and you find out that you're X. I don't want to spoil the game for you. But you discover that you are this, and it's supposed to be some mind-blowing moment. But that's something you can be creative with, and this applies to just about any game. Even if you're a cube doing a platformer, you can answer this question or the previous questions. All of these apply to any game in some aspect. Alright, well that's all I got, and thank you guys for joining me for this series. I hope you liked where I was going with it and the theme of the series, and I hope it helped grow you as a developer. So I want to thank you guys again for joining me, and hopefully I'll see you around in future DevSpot videos. If you have ideas or want me to research some stuff, please let me know in the comments below and I'll check it out. But until next time guys, please take care of yourself, because I will see you later.